happy Thursday, June 15th, 2023, and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Clash of Le Champions. I am your host, the vegan you believe in, the heartbeat of America, Kurt Cadet, in the flesh as always. And this man I know is feeling very good right now because his Golden Knights just won the Stanley Cup title, so I'm going to let him tell you who he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is his tag team partner, none other than the adventurer himself, the life of the party, Jonathan Randall. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy that my local team, the Vegas Golden Knights, won their first ever Stanley Cup championship. And man, it's just Vegas is gonna, live it up, be that party city as they're known for, especially on Saturday with the parade. That hopefully that I'll be attending, and I'm excited for the city, man. I'm so excited to be a part of it, and being a local, living here for 15 years, it's a good moment, a great moment for the city.
I'm happy for them too. I remember when they first began 6 years ago, right around the time the 1 October shooting happened. I remember
Yeah,
everybody like really
yeah.
rallying behind that team and like really, showing support and showing love for that team. And then they ended up going to the finals that year. And I know it didn't work out that way, but just as somebody who was living there at the time, it was nice to see like everybody in the entire city like really show support and like really get behind that specific team because in all honesty, in all the years I've been alive, I had never lived in a city where people were like that supportive of the hockey team in that city, and I was happy to see that go down in Vegas.
Yeah, and the fans get bashed for not knowing the sport, and Vegas is. And to clarify that, Vegas is really not new to the sport. They had two minor league hockey teams in the past. This is their very first professional sports team that they had, and yeah, it does go back to the 1 October shooting, Kurt, because the community was just at a loss. This new team comes in, and then they pretty much comfort the whole city, and that's what sports does, man. And just like with back in 9/11, I remember the Yankees being in the World Series that year. The whole city of New York kind of like rallied behind the Yankees, and that was just a very just a great moment. And it's kind of like similar to this, where the this the city was just they just really just like rally behind this whole entire team, man. And they just ever since then they just been through thick and thin, and to finally win the cup, and it was amazing, man. And I'm not putting down the Las Vegas Aces for when they won their WNBA championship last year. That was awesome. That was amazing. But I think this one really like tops it. I think this is really compared to UNLV winning the men's national championship back in 1990, because that whole city rallied behind that school, behind that basketball team. And this is similar, and it's just great for the city, man. And I think will go down as one of the greatest, not just sports moments in Vegas, but just moments in Vegas, period. We think about the city being built, we think about all the great artists, celebrities who've performed here in Las Vegas. Like this one right here tops it.
Yeah, this is definitely much better than what happened at the end of WrestleMania 9. I'll say that much.
Hey, Vegas still needs to bring a WrestleMania here, man. They need to redeem themselves.
Fair enough, fair enough. But I will say, I think it's safe to say that Golden Knights is the team of Las Vegas,
Oh, absolutely.
kind of like the same way the Lakers are the team of Los Angeles and the Yankees are the team of New York, and also the Braves are the team of
Yeah,
Atlanta. Yeah, I think the Golden Knights are definitely
yeah,
the team
yeah.
of Vegas.
Oh, that's without a doubt. Without a doubt. That's their first team here, and that you can't take that away, man. It's
And
just so
you
crazy.
and you guys' fan base deserve that title a lot more than the Panthers fan base probably deserved it. I
Um,
remember living in Florida most of my life, and and I just know the Panthers. It was just so bad they would literally give tickets away. It was like that for years.
I know I mean, they have been to the Cup final before back in '96, though. But yeah, they really weren't. they're not one of those franchises where they were like kind of like consistently good. You know what I mean? And look, I'm not discrediting them making it to the final. Like I'm not. They earned it.
Yeah,
They
definitely.
really
The
did
team
earn
itself, they
their
earned it.
way. Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? But I just feel for South Beach bad in general. That literally during the same week, the Miami Heat losing 5 games, and then the Florida Panthers losing 5 games, man. So I really feel bad for the Miami Heat more.
They'll be all right. They probably all went out to party and get drunk anyway.
Nah, man, it's mainly for Jimmy Butler. I feel bad for him. I really like him as a player.
Yeah.
I was really hoping he would get a ring though, but I really think that the Miami Heat they need another key component player for that team because I feel like Jimmy Butler is just doing everything on his own, man.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I give them all the credit in the world for the run they went on in the playoffs this year, but when they got to Denver, it was clear that they finally met their match. And honestly, them losing, I know it sucks to lose, but realistically, it was a miracle that they even made it as far as they did this. So even though they kind of lost, I don't look at it as like the loss the same way it would have been, let's say, if like the Bucks lost in the finals or the Celtics lost in the finals.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it still sucks to lose, but at the end of the day, they definitely went a lot further than anyone would have ever. I definitely have expected them to going into the playoffs. Hell,
Oh,
they
of
didn't make
course.
it into the playoffs until the very last day of the regular season, like in the play-in game.
Right. That right there, a feat of his own, is very well accomplished. That hasn't been done since your Knicks did it back in 1999.
That's right. But the only team that ever was a low seed that ever actually won a title was still the '95 Rockets.
Oh, wow.
Not a memory that Shaquille O'Neal likes to revisit, but you get my is what it is.
Got it. Yeah. Hmm.
And one of your favorite movies came out that week of that finals when it ended.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I remember seeing that said movie the day it came out too.
Oh wow. Yeah, it did come out that
Yeah,
weekend.
Batman Forever. Should have been more like Batman, please end in 5 minutes.
Oh please, it's better than Batman and Robin.
Watching paint dry would be better than watching Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I. Oh Lord.
Yeah, but I'm happy that the Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup title. I don't really follow hockey like that per se. Although I did watch bits and pieces of the game on Saturday night.
That's good.
Watched a little bit of it, but
Yeah.
I'm happy that they won. I'm happy for the city of Vegas, and I saw the route of the parade. It's like, damn, that's all y'all are gonna get. Y'all are like barely getting a
Well,
mile.
you got to think about it like this, and I'm kind of like in a debate with Nate right now because he's saying,
Oh, what a surprise!
well, but the thing is, like, you got to remember, Vegas is not LA. Like, you got to remember something. Like, Vegas is not. To me, it's a small. What's the word? It's a little big city. Little big city,
Oh,
as I call it. It's a
okay,
very well known, popular city in the world. Everybody knows about Vegas, but it's not like big as LA or a New York. You know what I mean? Like you'll be surprised how small Vegas is. Like it's so simple and easy to get to certain places around that area. You know what I mean?
trust me, I know. Living in Atlanta for 2 years, I definitely appreciate how small Vegas was in certain ways.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like I want to. If I'm living in North Las Vegas, I want to get to Henderson. It only takes me about what 20 minutes tops due to traffic. Um, but I mean, it's a little bit of a bigger route than what the Las Vegas Aces got last year. But I mean, you got to remember with the construction they got on the strip, and then um, they're gonna have the last meetup outside of T-Mobile Arena later that night.
That's dope.
So it's like I don't know. Yeah, so it's like I don't know what more should you be asking for. Again, it is not LA. You know, I've never been to a parade before, so I don't know how it usually worked out in other cities, though. But I mean, look, just be happy that you're getting something. But Vegas is not a big city. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, but I just hope at that parade the same thing doesn't happen that happened in the parade in Batman when the Joker let out the laughing gas on everyone.
oh God, Jesus,
Shit, that'd be a tragedy of epic proportions.
Jesus, don't jinx it.
I won't. I won't.
We get someone to steal the balloons. God.
Yeah, but also before we get into our wrestling, I just want to also say, speaking of the NBA Finals, I want to give a big congratulations to the Denver Nuggets because they earned that shit. The
I'll
whole
admit it.
season, the whole
They
season
earned
for
it. I
the
mean, they were the number one seeded team in the Western Conference. I will give them credit. I know for
for
one
most of the
thing.
year, for not even just like a chunk, but
Yeah,
for like
yeah,
most
not
of the year they were number
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're the number one seeded team in the West for a reason. But I do say this though. What really rubbed me off today because they had their parade today. It's a bit weird. You win your first championship, and then their head coach Michael Malone, first thing he talks about was the Lakers, and it's kind of like that right
That's
there is kind of
odd.
like rent rent free comment. It's like you win your first championship, and that's all you. The first thing you talk about is the Lakers. Like that, I thought that was just
What did he
it.
say
Kind of
though?
made me
What did he
cringe.
say?
I don't know. I don't know what he said. He said something like, I need to watch it again, but I've been seeing it all over Twitter. Like he was talking about, oh, like, we're the Lakers' daddy and all that stuff, and I was like,
Oh my
okay,
god.
yeah, he literally said that
That's super petty, bro. You just won the NBA title, and that was a team you
for the
freaking
first time.
swept in the first time in the city's history, and you just swept the Lakers like in the round before. Like they didn't even win one game. Why the fuck are you still talking about them?
That's what I'm saying, and like I'm not trying to like go back in the past, but Lakers have 17 championships. You just got your first one, and you're like just literally the first thing you talk about is the Lakers, and I'm just like, okay, rent free, like okay,
Yeah, but I'm happy they finally got one after 47 years. And you and I have definitely seen the struggles the Nuggets have gone through from like certain years when they wouldn't even be in the playoff mix. I remember one year, like I think the '98 season, they were voted the worst team in the league. And then
oh
in the
wow,
Carmelo years, it got a little better. The Carmelo years, they were a little more consistent. They had that one year when they went to the conference finals. But yeah,
yeah,
overall, they've always kind of been that team that like never was able to get over the hump. And then this year, with Joker,
yeah,
Jamal Murray, and the rest of their squad, they finally did it. And I remember
yeah,
even going into the playoffs, I was saying to myself, like, I don't know about Denver. They're not playoff tested. They haven't really proven themselves in the playoffs yet. So I'm not going to really bet money on them. But this
uh,
year, this playoffs, they definitely proved it. They definitely proved that they deserve to be champions. And I'm glad that they got it done.
crazy how last year Colorado Avalanche.
Although I wish it'd been against my Knicks instead of the Heat, but shit happens.
Oh, it's really crazy. Colorado Avalanche won a Stanley Cup the year before, and you have another team in Denver winning the championship.
Crazy, man. I can imagine how lit Denver was
Yeah.
that night. Damn,
Mm.
the Mountain West states are winning titles back to back. Holy shit. Beating both South Florida teams.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Ain't that some shit?
Hmm.
Yeah, but props to Joker though. It was definitely great to see him win Finals MVP. Not surprising. And also, a lot of people were bringing up the fact that he like shook everybody in the Heat's hand after the game.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's good sportsmanship, man.
Yeah,
You gotta
definitely.
have that.
But there's just only one
Yeah.
downside to these teams winning titles, and what we witnessed this week is that both of these sports are going to be gone for the next 4 months.
Yeah, we're in the dog days of summer.
Welcome me. Well, there's plenty of good shows to catch up on, but I'll be fine.
True. I mean, this is the perfect time to really, like for me, like I'm watching Sons of Anarchy for the first time. I'm gonna catch up on that and catch up on other things. Like do other things. You know what I mean? That is the perfect time to have no distractions, no sports. But it does suck though. Like kind of like. Don't get me wrong. Like I love my Padres though, but it's like I know I'm not gonna like sit up here and watch baseball all summer. You know what I mean? But um, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to wait until then. Wait until football season. Sadly, but yeah, we're in a dog days of summer right now, so it always happens. But one season that never ends, Kurt, and that is wrestling.
No, it does not ever end,
Nope.
which is why we'll always have this podcast and we never go on hiatus.
Exactly.
And yes, wrestling never ends. And also another thing that never ends is the Bloodline storyline, which heated up this past Friday on SmackDown. It
Good
started out with
lord.
a segment between Jey Uso and Paul Heyman, where Paul Heyman was kind of trying to butter up Jey Uso and like talk him into, coming back to Roman, coming back to the Bloodline, and he even tried to bribe him with a title shot against Austin Theory later that night on the show, and also telling him that Roman is gonna groom Jey to be the next tribal chief.
Lies. Lies.
So Jay responded to this saying, "Okay, I'll take your title match that you're offering to me, but as far as the other stuff goes, I'm gonna have to get back to you." And then he left Paul Heyman hanging as he tried to get a handshake from him. And then
Mm.
later that night, there was a segment. There was a backstage segment between him and Sami Zayn, where like Sami Zayn was trying to talk sense into Jay, talking about how the same way Roman made me choose between Kevin Owens and the Bloodline. That's exactly what Roman's trying to do to you now between the Bloodline and your brother. And just make sure you make the right choice. It's not worth it. Like it's not worth it to keep dealing with Roman shit. And then there was another segment backstage where Heyman was talking to Jay and telling him how he needs his passport because he's going to be flying on the private jet of Romans all the way to Money in the Bank, and that he's going to get all these different perks and he's going to be well taken care of and all this other jazz. And then Jay basically responded saying, "I like the sound of that, but honestly, I don't know why you're so happy about all this because if I'm in the Bloodline, you won't be."
Oh,
Shit, I didn't see that coming.
holy crap.
And then later in the night, we have the match between Theory and Jey Uso. And then at one point, Jimmy Uso tries to come in and help Jay, but it backfires, and he ends up hitting Jay with a super kick and costing him the title.
Mm.
Obviously, this upsets Jay to the point where when Jimmy's trying to help him up, Jay pushes him away. He's not having it, and then he walks away. But then, as Heyman and Solo are standing outside the ring, Jay also walks away from them to end the show. And Roman will be back on TV this coming Friday, and it looks like Jay is going to have a decision to make, a final decision to make.
Oh boy. And I'm telling you, I remember on last week's episode, Kurt, you said the number of views the last segment, Bloodline promo segment, got on YouTube. Imagine how many views this one is going to get.
Yeah, it's smart. This is the best thing they have on the show right now.
The ratings too. The ratings too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they scored like a 3 million in ratings on that SmackDown a few weeks ago. So it's smart to take advantage of this. This is
Yeah.
the hottest thing they have in the whole company right now. So
Oh hell
they gotta
yeah.
milk it for everything it's worth.
Yup. Yup.
And also on SmackDown, Asuka was presented with a brand new women's title, which is basically the same title as
Oh,
before, but like with gold in the background instead of red or blue. Whatever it is, what it is. And then as she's being presented with this new title, we have the return of Charlotte Flair coming
yeah.
out to cash in her Charlotte in the Bank and get a title shot, jumping all the way to the front of the line once again.
Exactly. Every time a woman wins a championship, here comes Charlotte.
No, but this shit happens all the time. Every time Charlotte, like usually every
Yeah.
time Charlotte would lose the title, she'll like disappear and go away from for a while, and then right when she gets back, she's put right back into the title picture.
That's exactly what I'm saying just now.
That's why I said it's not Money in the Bank in this case; it's Charlotte in the Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Adam Pierce made the match official. So the SmackDown before Money in the Bank, which will also be in London, is going to be Asuka and Charlotte for the title. And one person who was not very happy about this announcement was the former champion Bianca Belair, who took out her frustrations on Twitter, basically talking about the fact that she let Asuka have her moment, have her celebration like she like Adam Pierce asked her to, but yet when she
Mm.
let that all go down, Charlotte came in out of nowhere, and now Charlotte is getting the title shot before she's getting it, and she has a point.
Yeah, she does have a point though, because usually traditionally, Kurt, what happens? There is a championship clause or whatever. I use it call a championship clause. The person usually gets a rematch. Yes.
Usually, yeah, the first person entitled to a rematch, but it looks like Charlotte's getting it now. I
Yeah.
guess technically Charlotte did lose the title at WrestleMania and never got her rematch. Well, then again, she did disappear for a while.
Oh. Oh. But still, though, Bianca's more recent than
I know,
Charlotte's.
I know.
So yeah, again, Bianca. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, Bianca does have a point. And also, here's another thing. I think there's a little bit of foreshadowing. Do you think by those comments, do you think this is a possible heel turn?
It could be, but more than anything, I think it's a much needed switch up to her character.
Yes,
So what I think is gonna happen is that this is all gonna lead to a triple threat between the three of them at SummerSlam.
I would love to see that. It's perfect.
Yeah, it'd be a good look. And but there's one thing I wanted to get
Yeah.
into that people have been complaining about is that this is the problem with Charlotte is that she always has to be in the title picture. Like without the title being involved in whatever storyline she's in, she's not as interesting or even interesting period.
I don't ever recall her being in a predominant storyline she's not where she's involved that's not um, surrounding the title.
The only one I can think of, the only like major match I could think of that she had like that didn't involve the title was the match she had with Trish at SummerSlam a couple years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, other than that, every single like major match, major storyline she's been in has always been centered around the title
She needs the title in order to have that
to feel
clarification, I
relevant.
suppose. Yeah.
And this isn't a knock on her. She's great. She's talented and all that good stuff. But just for whatever reason, she always has to like be centered around the title. Like Becky,
Hmm.
Sasha, and Bailey and all those other girls and Bianca also, they've all been able to have like good feuds and good relevant feuds and storylines without the title necessarily surrounded by it. But for whatever reason, ever since Charlotte's been on the main roster, which will be 8 years next month, by the way, always has to be with the title involved.
Hmm.
And that's why fans resent her so much. That's why like a lot of fans don't like her is because of the fact that she constantly gets shoehorned into the title picture. I guess in a way because they want her to break her dad's record, possibly. But
Oh, so
shit,
no. Ah.
well, even though I'm not crazy about the new title design and whatever. At least they resolved that issue of like the belt swap. At least they didn't do that.
Yeah, I thought when I'm looking back at it now, I like the idea of it, of the names, which we'll get into later.
Yes, so we have that, and then Monday on Raw, Adam Pierce presented Rhea Ripley with her own new title, which is now called the Women's World Title, which is basically the same design as the new World Heavyweight Title, only with a white strap instead of a black one.
It resolves the name and the belt swapping issue for me, though, but it still doesn't resolve the creativity behind the belts in general. Um,
Fair
there is no
enough.
creativity or uniqueness to any of the belts in the WWE now. You look at the women's championship belt on SmackDown, Kurt, and all they did was just same as always. You have a belt, you put the corporate WWE logo on it, and it just says whatever championship name it is at the bottom. You go to the World Women's Championship. I like the name. I love it. I just don't like the fact that you literally just use the same design World Heavyweight Championship belt and you plastered it on a white strap. There is no creativity on it. There's no uniqueness to it. It's kind of like when you like every year when the new iPhone comes out, it's the different phone. It's just the same features, and it's kind of like how it is with these belts these days. It's like they all look the same, man. Like the AEW belts look way better and more creative
Not even
and
close.
more
Yeah, not even close.
and more unique than the belts in WWE. I like the women's championship belt from AEW better than the ones in WWE.
Goes without saying.
Like where's the creativity? Just like I said last week, Kurt, when it comes to like the fast food places. You drive past a fast food place like McDonald's, for example, and it looks corporate. It doesn't look unique and different how it is back then, you know?
Yeah, because going to McDonald's back in those days or Burger King or whatever those places were, it was kind of like an experience. It was kind of like an adventure in a sense. But I mean,
Yeah,
I don't eat that shit anymore. But even if I did, like, I look at what those places look like now. I'm like, damn, this shit is kind of depressing. It's kind of making me want to go to therapy or something.
right. And it's like, look, don't get me wrong. Like, I love the New World Heavyweight Championship belt. It grown on me, but it's like, come on, every belt needs to be different. It needs to be unique. you look at a house, you drive down a neighborhood, not every house looks the same, dude. All the houses look different.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I have less of a problem with this belt than I do with like the ones on SmackDown. The ones on SmackDown is it just kind of like, bro, you guys didn't even try.
No, and it's like, oh, we're gonna bring a new championship. I'm like, all right, okay,
Yeah, yeah they have this like whole big presentation where they unveil it from the black curtain and shit, and you look at that, I'm like, bro, you gave us all this anticipation and that's all you offered us.
just a belt with the WWE logo on it. That's all it is.
But another big problem for Rhea, with that shit aside, she doesn't really have any credible challengers right now.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, because the Zelina Vega thing was cool for that one night. It was great and all, but realistic, we knew she wasn't winning. And then the Natty match, that was even worse. That was a squash if I've ever seen
Oh
one.
my god, the literally the fact that was it like less than a minute or something like that, or a minute.
Yeah, I
But
don't know
yeah,
if I don't know if Natalia was hurt or something or whatever, but yeah, that was just like not even competitive a little bit.
yeah.
And I'm looking like at the Raw roster right now, like honestly, like besides Becky, who would be like a credible challenger for her right now?
I don't know because you got to remember that Becky's not going to challenge Rhea anytime soon because she's still feuding with Trish Stratus right now,
And that's
and
the thing. Becky doesn't have the title, and the feud she's in right now is actually more relevant than what Rhea's doing right now.
right. Thank you.
And realistically, Rhea honestly interacts more with the men than she does with the women on TV most of the
She
time.
does. She
Kind of like
does.
China, yeah.
China. Yep.
Yeah,
Just kind
just
of
like
like
China
China.
did.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy she has the belt. I like her and everything, but yeah, she doesn't have any credible like opponents right now that you would think have a
Well,
chance of taking the belt from her.
you know what? If only if Bianca was on Raw.
Yeah, honestly, that's the match I'm kind of bummed we got cheated out of.
Yeah, if only Bianca Belair was on Raw, man, that would have been easy pick. That would be your next challenger. But no, she's on SmackDown right now.
Yeah, we thought we were gonna get that match last summer, but then Rhea had the concussion issues, and then
Yeah,
when Rhea
yeah,
finally won the Royal Rumble, you figured she was gonna challenge Bianca, but then she challenged Charlotte instead, and now they're both on
right,
separate shows. So yeah, it's gonna be a long time before we ever see that match again.
man,
Also, Roman and Cody, for that matter, that's another story.
right, right.
And Cody will actually be competing at Money in the Bank against Dominic. It is official.
That's so weird, though.
I don't mind it personally. I don't mind it.
I don't mind it. It's just the timing of it because it's so weird. Like it goes back to the ending of the match between Cody and Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions, and the feud is not over. And then next thing you know, you swap in Dominic short term, and I know they're gonna go back to Lesnar though for SummerSlam, but it's weird. It kind of like kill. It kind of like just. It's like you're driving, Kurt. And you're supposed to go to your destination, but instead you make a pit stop. I don't know. It's just you
A
get
pit
off your
stop that'll be in London, England.
yeah, but but you get off your exit and you're kind of like you're running late behind your scheduled destination, I guess. But it's just weird how like you're literally like in a feud with Lesnar, and then you're like, oh, stop! I'm gonna have a match with Dominic at the next pay per view.
I think it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what the atmosphere is going to be like that
But
night because
but at the same,
you know that crowd is going to eat Dominic alive. That London
I know
crowd, ooh,
I
ooh.
I know, yes, but here's the thing, though. But despite of how I feel about it, this is really good for Dominic.
Yeah, it's great. He's needed something new ever since the feud with his dad ended. He's needed something. He's needed like a new
Yes,
feud to
he
keep him
does.
relevant.
Yeah, yes. So it's weird what they're doing, though. But for Dominic's sake, for his career wise, moving forward, this is good for him.
Yeah, I like it. I think it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Also, with Money in the Bank, it is official as a Monday night on Raw. It will be Seth Rollins against Finn Balor for the world title.
Oh my god! The more I think, see, when I first heard about it, I was like, okay. But then the more I thought about it, and then when I was watching Their segment on Raw. Oh my God. 7 years in the making, Kurt. And it's very personal. And I love it.
I
This
mean,
is the
they've wrestled a
first
few
time
times.
that
I mean, they've wrestled a few times before since then, but this is like the first like real
but this is
major.
but this is for the title though, and
Yeah,
this
I
is
know.
personal because just like what Finn Balor said in his promo, dude, he was just not the same after that. Like you won the Universal title, but you got hurt and you had to relinquish the title the next night. So he mentioned that, and that was very good for him to mention that. So it made it very personal to him that hey, I like you, kind of like you took a lot from me, you took something from me, you took a whole year from me. Now I want to like get that back, and now Rollins is like chirping back like, well, one man became bitter, one man became better, I became better, you were bitter. What what version of Finn Balor are we gonna get? Are we gonna get the one that he saw back in SummerSlam back in 2016, or are you gonna be that one who was just you know bitching for like the past 7 years? And that right there was just like him getting the last laugh, no pun intended. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a good segment, but I know what version of Finn Balor we are gonna get at Money in the Bank.
Oh hell yeah!
The one that's gonna lose.
I know though, but I love the storyline though. Like, let's forget about the fact who's gonna
Yeah,
win,
it's
who's gonna
good. Yeah, it's
lose,
good.
but just the storyline in general is just like, oh my god, this is like great. They're going back to the 7 years in the making. They're going back to the fact that this is personal. This is the first time since then that they've went at it with each other for a championship.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun atmosphere. I think the match will be amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, even though I kind of I can kind of tell who's gonna win, but
yeah.
at the same time, it doesn't make me look forward to the match any less.
Oh no, of course not. Because of the story.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do some good stuff in the weeks leading up, and I can already tell they're kind of starting to tease that Damian Priest is probably gonna leave the group soon.
Yeah, though, because I saw some little dissension between him and Finn Balor a little bit, and then the fact that Damian Priest is in the Money in the Bank ladder match, that right there alone,
After a great match with Matt Riddle on Monday, by the way, they killed it.
yeah.
That's all you have to say.
Well, that's what I got to say. But now Matt Riddle, he's going to be contending for an Intercontinental title.
More than likely, it's not official yet, but it's looking like it's going in that direction. But yeah, Damian Priest feels like he has a lot of momentum right now, and he could be a possible person who could win the briefcase. I think it's going to be either him or another person I'm going to mention in a second.
LA Knight.
Yes, I think it's between both of those two who ends up winning the contract.
Mm,
But also, who else is in the match between besides the two of them is also Santos Escobar, Butch, Nakamura, and Ricochet.
yeah,
Good lineup. It's nice to see Ricochet like kind of in the singles position
it
again
is.
because actually I don't know if you heard Braun Strowman had to have neck surgery a few weeks ago, so he's going to be out for a hot minute.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, he posted it a few weeks ago. Yeah, he
Oh
had to have neck
no.
surgery, so
Oh damn.
that's why Ricochet's doing solo stuff now.
Oh okay. Well, I mean, yeah, it is
Damn,
good to
poor
see him.
guy.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, I mean, it is good to see him back in a singles environment now. But like I said, I mean, I really see LA Knight and Damian Priest, winning it. I don't know. I really like to see LA Knight win it.
Either or, I think it's going to be one or the other. Yeah, people are really into that LA Knight dude. He's definitely built a lot of momentum in
He
the last few
has.
months.
He has. Oh man.
Good. But back to Damian Priest real fast. One thing I wanted to mention, I guess those stories coming out were true that the company has a lot more faith in Damian Priest now after the whole Bad Bunny match. Like they look at him more as a top guy than he did before.
Oh, you see. Yep. Before that, man, really didn't have much confidence in him. He kind of like, what is his direction? What is what role does he have? I kind of question myself with that, but now, yeah, ever since that feud he had with Bad Bunny, and also the match that he had with Bad Bunny at Backlash, I'm not surprised that the company has more faith in him now.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go far in the next few months, and I have a feeling he may even be the person to dethrone Gunther.
Hmm. I never thought about
I
that.
don't think it's gonna be Riddle, and honestly, I don't think Gunther's losing that.
No, no, no.
And honestly, I don't think Gunther is losing that title until he breaks Honky Tonk Man's record, and that's not until September.
Holy crap. Okay.
Which also reminds me, Gunther this past Saturday surpassed 1 year as being Intercontinental Champion.
Yes, I saw that.
Props, bro. The last person to hold the title that long was indeed Honky Tonk Man, yeah, back in 87, 88.
Yeah.
But Gunther's had a way better reign than Honky Tonk Man, especially as far as match quality.
Well, of course. Dude, like Honky Tonk Man wasn't. They didn't have monthly pay per views back then, and he wasn't really defending the top, the championship on, numerous occasions like Gunther has, and also the match quality has been different too. So that's not a surprise to me.
Oh, shit. And speaking of Honky Tonk Man, ironically enough, I believe Tuesday was the anniversary of when he won the title from Ricky Steamboat on that Superstars.
Oh wow, really?
The same weekend your Precious Predator came out. Yeah, that's when it happened.
That's right.
Second best movie of 1987. Second best movie of 87.
Behind what? Behind what?
Wall Street.
Oh, I never seen that movie.
Movie's great. That movie's fucking great.
I heard. Yeah, I heard great things about the
Michael
movie.
Douglas won an Oscar for that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he won the Best Actor Oscar for it.
Holy crap!
Yeah, he was ruthless as fuck. Yeah, he was a Wall Street thug.
Of course, not surprised. I would
Yeah,
be
I can.
really scared to get into the Wall Street business if I watched that movie.
Honestly, I wouldn't want to. Like the money would be great, but honestly, it seems like stressful as fuck, and the drugs are
Of
insane. And more
course.
than anything else, in all honesty, those people fucking suck.
Damn.
Like I see how the way those dudes talk and how they interact. I'm like, yo, fuck these people. I wouldn't like just having to sit in a room with these people for 5 minutes would make me want to shoot myself in the head.
Damn.
That like kind of what I talked about with Ike Turner a few weeks ago. Like it's not even the fact of like like the evil shit they do or whatever. It's just the fact that like their personalities and the way they carry themselves. These people are trash. Fuck out of my face.
Damn.
Yeah, crazy. Talk about wrestling. Got into a talk about Wall Street assholes.
Mm.
Yeah, where's Erwin R. Scheister when you need him?
Oh, stop it. Or Ted DiBiase, or just Money Incorporated in general. Oh
It's
god.
so crazy.
Oh
Those dudes
man.
won the titles 3 times, and none of those matches were ever televised.
Damn.
Yeah, when they beat the Road Warriors for the belts, like the Road Warriors only agreed to drop the belts if it wasn't televised. Then they beat the Natural Disasters for it, like the
What?
second time that also wasn't televised. And then crazy this week, the anniversary of it is this week actually. They lost the belts to the Steiners at a house show, won it back from the Steiners 2 nights later at another house show, then lost them back to the Steiners again 3 nights later at another house show.
Sheesh.
Shit,
You went
bro.
hot tomato with that.
Yeah,
Hot tomato.
it's like the Intercontinental title in '99.
Oh.
All right. Anyway, I know we got a little off topic a little bit. Sorry. Let's get back to Money in the Bank. Damian Priest, I do definitely see possibly breaking Gunther's record. It could possibly happen, but it won't be for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So for the
Mm-hmm.
women's Money in the Bank, we have Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, Bailey, Io Sky, and one person to be determined.
Oh, really?
Yes, indeed. I think
Bianca Belair, maybe?
no, I don't think it's going to be her.
Oh. But regardless of who it is, I'm picking EL Sky to win it.
Yeah, I think she'll more than likely win it. I think it could be her or possibly maybe Bailey.
I don't know. I think EL Sky just has more of the momentum, though. Again, I think ever since Backlash, it's a lot of, not a lot, but certain changes for certain people has happened in a good way. We just talk about Damian Priest, and then EL Sky is one person who, after that night, is just like the momentum has been on her side now.
Yeah, it has. I think she'll still get there. Like, I think she'll still get like to the title, like in a feud with Oscar at some point. But she doesn't necessarily need the briefcase. Although I would like to see her win.
I think she does.
I mean, it could happen. I'm saying,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Bailey. I do though. I'm just thinking logically here. You know what I mean? I'm just like looking at how much you've been doing, how much of a momentum have you had, and I'm thinking about like I'm just thinking about these things about what have you done, and what kind of momentum have you carried lately? You know?
Yeah, she hasn't been like as hot now as she kind of was, when she had that run with Sasha, like
Yeah.
when they were partners and then when they feuded afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she hasn't really been as hot since. Like I remember, yeah, like after all that ended, she kind of feuded with Bianca a little bit, and then she got hurt and she was out for like a year pretty much. And then when she came back, she had that feud with Bianca again with the whole damage control thing, which was cool for a while. But then ever since that whole feud ended, it hasn't been really the same with her.
Mm.
And also, actually, speaking of which, of Bailey, real fast, happy birthday to Bailey because she is 34 years old today.
Oh yeah. Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, today's her birthday.
Nice.
But it's so crazy. I don't even remember that old character she played, like the bubbly thumbs up with like the inflatable balloons and shit. I don't even remember
Dude,
that shit
that
anymore.
felt like it was a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, it felt like it was just a distant memory, man.
yeah. Because I remember like when she was doing that shit in NXT, like it was really popping off. She had a lot of momentum, and I just said to myself, like, "Yo, she's gonna be huge on the main
Yeah.
roster with that gimmick, like with the little kids and stuff. Yeah, she's gonna be like in a sense, like the female John Cena." And it was going well at first. It was going
Yeah.
well at first until that storyline they had to do with Alexa Bliss, like the whole like Bailey, this is your life shit. Yeah, like from that point on, that character was never the same.
Wow. I mean, I was happy that she went in the opposite direction. I thought that was good. I think because all wrestlers they need a sense of changing their gimmick. So when she went away from that, that was good for her. I was actually happy to see her do that.
Yeah, I was actually at that SmackDown where she officially turned heel, where like she destroyed like the inflatable balloons, and then she won the title by cheating, and then she like talked shit to the fans afterwards. I'm like, fuck, finally, it's about damn time.
Right.
Yeah, but so she could be a possible person who gets the briefcase. Like I said, for the men, I think it's between Damian and LA Knight, and for the women, I think it's between Bailey or Io Sky. And I think one is gonna cost the other the match.
Mm.
They've been teasing dissension
Oh.
between the two of them for the last few months, so I feel like it's gonna play into the match outcome.
Hmm. I see. I see.
Yeah, so that's Money in the Bank, 2.5 weeks away. I think it should be a fun show, and it's gonna be weird watching having it start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I mean, I mean, there are in England, so I mean, but yeah, it is a bit weird though. But
Yes, but also let's get into some AEW news real fast as we have AEW Collision making its debut this coming Saturday on TNT, and this show will feature the return of CM Punk in his hometown of Chicago for the first time since All Out back in September.
wow,
That also kind of feels like another lifetime ago
I know.
when all that shit happened.
What about to say about that? Yeah, I was watching that little segment that on from Dynamite. Had a lot of stuff he has to get off his chest as usual. Not surprised though, but
But if you're expecting him to talk about the elite dudes, it's not going to happen because he did sign that NDA.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, Punk, yeah, did have that little video that came out last night saying where he has a lot to get off his chest. It's so crazy how long ago that shit was. It feels like another lifetime ago. I was like, I
I
was getting
know.
ready to go on my trip to Israel like around the time that all that shit went down.
Oh snap! That was a year ago when he went to Israel. Wasn't it last year? Or?
Almost a year ago, September. Yeah, the September.
Oh, holy crap!
You say that shit again.
Dang.
Yeah, so now after all that shit that went down, this dude is finally coming back. And also, speaking of Punk, it also came out today that he did an interview with ESPN, and apparently it's going to be upsetting a lot of people once it comes out.
When does it come out? Did they say?
Probably tomorrow. They said he said a lot of controversial things on there, so
Oh.
it's going to ruffle a lot of
Oh
feathers.
boy. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure he'll get a nice reaction when he comes back on Saturday, but it just feels like if he's already but it feels like if he's already like having these issues already and he hasn't even returned yet, it's like, bro, I don't see it getting any better once he does come back.
I mean, within the locker room. I mean, yeah, though, but it just I'm just curious what he's gonna say, man.
Honestly, at this point, I don't even care anymore. He's coming back, cool, but
Mm.
Just after that whole shit happened last year, I was just kind of like over this dude. I'm like, yo, enough
That's
already.
that,
Like,
that's what I'm
I,
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, he's coming back. Like what?
yeah, because of the way that shit all went down and the way he like carried himself in that whole scenario, it's like, yo, there is no way this dude can ever go back to that locker room.
No.
But I guess putting them on separate shows is their solution to their problem.
So this will be a separate show, like kind of like a brand split, kind of like Raw and SmackDown. We have right
Yeah, I talked about this a few weeks
or
ago. Yeah, this is basically I guess what their idea is because Punk is going to be on this show and probably all the elite dudes will be on Dynamite. Also making his return on Collision Saturday night is going to be Miro, who has not been seen also since All Out.
oh damn.
That's right.
A long time since I heard of him. Oof.
Yeah, Miro will be making his return, and also Andrade will be making his return as well on Collision as well against Buddy Murphy.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the whole Punk thing. I mean, I want to say I hope everything can stay peaceful and nothing gets too out of control like it did before. But I hate to say it, but just with CM Punk, it just always seems like drama and trouble follows him everywhere he goes. And I'm not saying all of it is his fault and that he doesn't have legit gripes to bring up, but just considering all these different incidents he's been in over the years and all these different, conflicts he's been with other people over the years, he definitely bears some responsibility in it.
I agree.
On my podcast Isolation Cabin, I did an episode a few weeks ago about like emotional immaturity, and honestly he was one of the people I was thinking of.
Mm. I mean, you talked about this last year, man. So, like, I am surprised that he's back. But again, it just with what you're just now telling me about, about the whole ESPN interview that's going to be televised tomorrow. Hopefully, I
Well, I
don't
don't know
know,
if it's going
man.
to be televised. I just know it's coming out tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be televised or not. But yeah, Saturday night will be interesting. I'm definitely going to be watching that show. That six man should be fun with him and FDR, with Samoa Joe and on the other side. That'll probably possibly start a feud between the two of them.
That would be great, man. Because they haven't been in a ring in a long time, not since Ring of Honor.
No, they have not. And we'll hear what Punk has to say. I'm sure it's going to be filled with lots of personal shots at people he doesn't like, among other things. Admittedly, him coming back does spark a lot of interest. Can't deny that.
It would absolutely.
Yeah, just hopefully him and everybody else can behave themselves, but I think that might be asking a lot.
Yeah.
All right, and also another AEW news. We had a great match of the year candidate last night between MJF and Adam Cole in a match in which if MJF lost to Adam Cole would get a title shot, but the match ended in a 30-minute draw.
Damn it! Oh, so I'm just curious what's going to happen the following week. Oh, for one thing, before we even get further with that, Kurt, my God, did I love the promo they had last week? Oh my
Oh yeah, that
goodness!
was great when he was referencing Vince. Actually, funny enough, during the match last night, MJF was wearing armbands on his arms, and they both said Vince was right, referring to Adam Cole and the company.
Oh my goodness!
Shit's crazy.
That is crazy.
One of the probably hands down the best heel in the business. No redeeming qualities.
Oh, absolutely!
No redeeming qualities.
Heel of the year. Heel of the year. Roman Reigns takes a back seat.
And you know what's funny? Neither one of them wrestle regularly, and rarely either one of them wrestle on TV for that matter.
That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be interesting to see where this goes in the next few weeks. We also have the Forbidden Door pay per view next Sunday, which should also be a lot of fun. Where they're going to be wrestling a lot of the people from New Japan and all that. I might even order that show actually.
Oh yeah, where can you again? Where can you order it on?
Fight TV, yeah, probably Fight TV or Bleacher Report, one or the other.
Hmm.
Yes, and also let's get back to some WWE news real fast as it came out today that Carlito has re-signed with WWE.
Yes, thank God, my wishes came true. I said to myself, with the pop that he received in his home country of Puerto Rico at Backlash, I said to myself, re-sign him right now, WWE.
and I'm quite sure they heard me or they heard of millions of other people. But yes, that has come true.
Good shit. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does
Yes.
do once does officially come back. And also, unfortunately, we found out some bad news this past Friday as Young Rock has been officially canceled by NBC.
Man, damn it.
Yeah, I'm
I
bummed
was looking
out.
forward to the next season, dude.
Yeah, I like that
Damn,
show.
damn. I love that show.
I like that show. Look, it was historically inaccurate in many ways, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. I still
It was funny. Oh,
same.
it was funny. It was very, yeah, man. Like my mom liked the show too. She loved the grandma. My mom loved the
Yeah, the
grandma.
grandma was great, but I feel like who's
Yes,
better, the grandma in Young Rock or the grandma on Cobra Kai? Like Miguel's grandma and yeah, Carmen's mom.
I give the edge to the grandma from Young Rock. She just was
Why? Because she
funny.
speaks English.
It's not because of that. She just how the way she just. It's just a lot of certain situations where she just acted like really
I,
funny.
I remember.
I,
I remember that scene from the last season of Cobra Kai when the grandma came into like Johnny's apartment, like dressed up as like Billy the Kid. I was just saying to myself, like, damn, John's probably gonna laugh his ass off when he sees this.
and I did.
Oh shit. All right, anyway. But yeah, it sucks that show got canceled. I was really getting into it, but I feel like the way they ended it last year was kind of like I guess, kind of like a play it safe episode where like they maybe thought they might get canceled, so they did that as like a way to close things off just in case.
Well, the thing is, the one thing I was looking forward to because he briefly talked about a little bit about the Mummy Returns, and if they were to do another season, I was kind of like, is he going to talk more about that? You know?
Maybe, but unfortunately, we won't ever find out because the show got canceled, and maybe the writer's strike might have had something to do with it.
Oh yeah, dude. That's another thing that bums me out, man. Just the writers are not getting the financial respect as they deserve, man. They're not getting the they're really just not getting the workload. It's not about the workload. There's really not getting the proper respect as they wanted.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I hate to see the show see the show end, and I hate to see like things going the way they are with other shows. But if they're not getting paid right, that's not right. And until they start getting paid, then I guess it is what it is.
Horrible.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Hollywood.
You see how corrupt that business is?
Yeah, you motherfuckers already have enough money. You can't just take care of the people who actually make that shit go afloat.
Thank you. The writers have a big part.
Writing can make or break a show and a movie.
Thank you.
And honestly, going back to Cobra Kai one more time, that's one of the things I love the most about that show is the writing. Those motherfuckers know what they're doing. They know their shit.
They went straight from the details of the previous movies.
Yeah, and just the way they tie everything into the movies, like small little references you probably wouldn't catch. Yo, they are on their shit 100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Yeah, poor Rock though, he's kind of having a rough time right now. If that happened, he lost $60 million from the XFL this season, and then that Black Adam movie was a flop, and like a lot of people blamed him for it. And supposedly now he's crawling back to the Fast franchise.
When he said that he would never do it again,
Shit.
I know it sucks. It's a sucky moment though, but you got to remember, bro. Hey, guess what? He still has his tequila brand, which is still does well and sells. Okay.
No, I know he's
He's
not struggling.
still.
I know he's not gonna. I know he's not struggling, but it is a rough patch, kind of what he's facing right now with all that going on.
Yeah, it happens though. But you got to remember, a lot of people don't know this, but you got to remember when you are like a brand, see yourself as a person, especially like in the entertainment business, like The Rock, for example, or like Denzel. You see yourself as a commodity. You see yourself as a brand. How much are you worth? The Rock is still worth a lot. And a lot of people are over exaggerating, like, oh my God, he, lost so much. Dude, he's still worth more than everything that he lost. You know what I mean? So I get it.
Yeah,
It is a rough patch, but he still has his tequila brand. I haven't had his tequila in a while though, but I like it though. I love it. He still has that energy drink. Was it what's it called? Damn, what's that energy drink that he has?
I
Oh
don't know,
man,
bro.
you know what I'm about. He has his own energy. He came out with his own energy drink about a year and a half ago.
I don't know for sure. I don't even drink energy drinks right now like that, so I wouldn't know.
I heard of it though, but yeah, I mean, he still has these other ventures, and he's still fine. He will regroup. He will recover from this.
Yeah, I'm sure he will, but just his public image kind of took a hit too with the whole Black Adam shit. Everyone was kind of like blaming him for the movie, kind of like not coming out well, not turning out well.
Oh man.
They were saying shit like about his ego, kind of like getting in the way of it. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see the movie. I wasn't interested in seeing the movie, but just from the people who have seen it and who do follow that shit, that's been the main consensus.
I feel you.
All right, but anyway, let's get into some anniversaries real fast. A special anniversary actually took place this past Tuesday, as it was the 30-year anniversary of the 1993 King of the Ring.
Oh wow, yes indeed. I saw that about how it was a couple days ago, and it was the year that Bret Hart won the King of the Ring.
Well, technically, the second time he won it because he did win it 2 years prior at a house show, but that was not televised.
Oh,
Yeah, before
oh
yeah,
yes.
this was actually the first ever King of the Ring pay per view because before then the King of the
Uh-huh.
Ring would be something they would do at house shows. Like it would be something just to boost tickets at house shows. So like it was never televised. But this would be the very first time that it would be televised and it would be like an official winner. So basically,
Hmm.
this show is basically what they call the Bret Hart show, as Bret Hart had three different types of matches with Razor Ramon in the quarterfinals, Mr. Perfect in the semifinals, which in my opinion was the match of the year for 1993, and also Bam Bam Bigelow in the finals.
I like how it's funny how you call it the Bret Hart show.
It was the Bret Hart show.
I know, but it's just as funny to me, Kurt.
Bro, take all three take all three of those Bret Hart matches out of that show and you have nothing, literally.
It's nothing. I know. I just remember what Yokozuna defeating Hogan. Like that was something to remember for. Okay.
I mean, it kind of was to a degree. The match sucked, but it kind of was something to remember to a degree.
It was. I know for the moment though, but yeah.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
I was listening to JR's podcast actually about that King of the Ring because obviously he called it, and it's so
Uh,
funny how it's so funny of the lack of commitment Hogan had by this point, where he did not defend the title or wrestle on TV at all from WrestleMania up until this show.
and the thing is, he wrestles so much better internationally than he did in the states. It's just like that kind of like yeah, like not like baffles me. It's just kind of like wow, like you know what I mean?
And that's another thing that happened too. Like a month before this show, he had that match in Japan where, like, and during the interview after the match, he like called the WWE title like a toy and basically said it didn't mean anything compared to the New Japan title. And yeah, he came off very bad in that whole scenario. He basically said the WWE title was worthless.
Oh,
And bro, after WrestleMania 9, he didn't wrestle period for WWE until like the end of May at a house show.
mm,
Yes, and like he was like doing like interviews from like the set of Thunder in Paradise. And I'm like, bro, like it's clear this dude's commitment is not there. Why the fuck did y'all put the title on him in the first place?
I know.
And then there was that whole story about him not wanting to lose to Bret. It got to the point where after the match with Hogan and Yokozuna, after it ended, when Hogan got to the back, Bret bitched him out, and Bret told him like, "Yo, so you didn't want to lose to me, but you would lose to him on behalf of me and all the other boys in the locker room. Go fuck yourself." Yeah, Bret just bitched him out afterwards, told him to go fuck himself, and like Hogan was trying to come up with these excuses, saying, "Nah, nah, nah, bro, you have the wrong information. You don't know the whole story. It was Vince's idea. It's what Vince wanted, and all this other shit." And he's like, I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you. And he's like saying, "So why don't you?" And then Hogan's response was, "Because you told me to go fuck myself." And then Bret said, "Yeah, I did tell you to go fuck yourself, and I'm gonna tell you one more time, go fuck yourself."
Damn.
Good. I'm happy he did that. Good.
Where I'm sorry, sorry to change the subject. Where was the King of the Ring pay per view at again?
Dayton, Ohio, in the Nutter Center,
Gotcha.
which is a very odd name for an arena, but that's another story. Yeah, but it's so funny. I think that was the same arena or like the same town where Bret Hart made his return in 2010.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because during his promo he was saying this is the exact same city where I won the King of the Ring tournament in 1993.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Like this whole show is kind of like the end of the Hogan era and the beginning of the Bret Hart era, if you really think about it. Because like this show is kind of like the last legs of the dudes from the Hogan era, like Hogan, DiBiase, Mr. Perfect, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, especially. Yeah, Hacksaw Jim Duggan looks super out of place on this show.
Wow.
So like it was the end of that era and like the beginning of the new era with like Bret, Yokozuna, Razor Ramon, Lex Luger, etc. And then, yeah, Bret had those three great matches and won the tournament, beating Bam Bam in the finals. But then after he wins the tournament, he's interrupted by Jerry Lawler, who attacks him. And this basically sparks off their feud that will go on for years, which is a great feud, actually.
Hmm.
So Bret doesn't get to wrestle Hogan at SummerSlam, but he gets to feud with Jerry Lawler instead.
Gotcha. I try not to think about 1993 a whole lot. 93 was just really just not a good year. I just think the only good thing that happened from that year was, Monday Night Raw debuting that year. Yeah, Yokozuna winning the title in a bad match though, but it was a good moment for him. But other than that, I try not to think about that year when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah, admitted that year was trash, no doubt about it. But this show was one of the few and probably the main highlight for WWE that whole year.
I feel you.
This is by far their best pay per view that year. No competition.
Okay.
Yeah, so Bret wins the King of the Ring, and then he starts the feud with Lawler, which would be a great feud. And it's so funny during that whole segment where like Lawler attacked him. I think he hit Bret too hard with the scepter, and then Bret kind of warned him about it, saying like, "Yo, you hit me too hard. Don't do that shit again." And then at SummerSlam, when Jerry Lawler hit Bret Hart with a crutch, he hit him really hard again, and then that's why Bret put him in the sharpshooter for as long as he did that night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, don't cross the hitman.
Oh no, that never.
I remember I had that ring, that 93 King of the Ring ring when I was a kid.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the yellow ring and everything. Yeah, it was mad dope. I got that for
Oh
Christmas, I
wow,
think, in 94.
nice.
Yeah, I'll never forget renting that video from the video store, and yeah, I loved it.
Uh-huh.
But it was clear, like, the Hogan era was over. Like, I watched, like, Hogan's promo before that match with Yokozuna. I'm like, bro, it's over. The 80s are over. No one wants to see this whole America versus the foreign villain bullshit anymore. Bro, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Foreign villain. I know. Oh man.
Yeah, but great show. A few highlights of 1993. And also this past week was the 18-year anniversary of the ECW One Night Stand show.
Oh, that's right. Which one do you like better? Oh five or oh six?
Oh five, definitely. Oh five is a way better show.
Got you. Oh six is just known for the main event and then how the fans' reaction to Xena when he came out to the ring. Well, not just when he came out to the ring. I think just throughout the whole entire match. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just only highlighted for that one Pacific match. I think '05 was just the whole event from beginning to end was just like just a madhouse, just crazy. Even the segments, when Paul Heyman was calling out all the anti ECW wrestlers, I thought that was just gold.
Yeah, where he tells
Loved it.
JBL the only reason why you were the champion for a year is because Triple H didn't want him on Tuesdays.
That was so funny.
Yeah, because if you remember that draft, Triple H initially got drafted to
Yeah,
SmackDown, but then like he had it like reversed the next day.
yeah, he politicked and reversed it, and that's because if Triple H was on SmackDown, he would have been champion, but because he wasn't, they gave JBL was the heel, and they gave that opportunity to him. So yeah, it made perfect sense. So overall, it was
And then
just
he said
funny to
that, and then
me.
he said that shit to Edge, like saying, "Hey guys, hide your wives. Edge is here, and I have two words for you, Matt freaking Hart."
I need to watch that show
And
again.
Joey Styles was great. Joey Styles was great on commentary, especially during that Mike Awesome match. He fucking lost his shit. Because I don't know if
You
you
know.
remember, Mike Awesome actually like left ECW kind of controversially. Like while he was the champion, he left ECW to go to WCW, and he kind of like really put them in a bad spot. Remember that period when Taz was ECW champion in WWE for like a week?
Yeah.
That's what happened. Mike Awesome left ECW to go to WCW while he was still the ECW champion, and like during that whole period, they had Taz come in and beat him for the belt.
Oh boy.
So a WWE contracted wrestler beat a WCW contracted wrestler for the ECW title.
Mm.
Yeah, but I have to say that match was probably the and then oh shit, he's Styles said a fucked up line during that match saying when like Mike Awesome like did a suicide dive or something. He's like and basically Joey Styles responded by saying like good good good. I hope that suicide dive kills his ass.
Oh, holy crap, dude.
And ironically enough, 2 years later, Mike Awesome would actually die by killing himself.
Damn.
Yeah, Joey Styles was hot about the way Mike Awesome left ECW, and yeah, he was going ham on him during that whole match. And actually, that match was the best match of the whole night. That Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka match. It was great.
Holy crap, dude.
This show was actually one of the last major matches between Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit, which I heard apparently Eddie Guerrero was upset about afterwards. He didn't like the way the match came out. He was actually very upset about it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that day, like he didn't hold a grudge about it, but yeah, like during that night, he was upset about the way the match turned out.
Oh man.
Yeah, if you look at those matches, none of those matches go over 10 minutes, I think. Yeah, all the matches on that show don't go anywhere longer than 10 minutes.
Mm.
But fun show regardless. I like the RVD promo. It was just too bad he couldn't wrestle on the show. It was a damn shame that like he got hurt and that even though he was the one person who tried to help start it, he couldn't be a part of it.
Damn.
And then Sandman's entrance was nuts. That Sandman entrance probably go down as one of the best entrances in probably wrestling history, or in recent
Crazy.
memory at least.
Crazy, crazy.
Yeah, and that whole shit at the end with the whole brawl between the ECW guys and the WWE invaders, which actually led to JBL bloodying up Blue Meanie and really fucking him up badly. You know about that shit, right?
Oh yeah, of course I do. That's just very evident.
Yeah, Blue Meanie was all bloodied up by the time that shit was over. And then all of them attacked Eric Bischoff at the end. They hit him with the 619, the diving headbutt. And then Austin's like, is there anything you'd like to say? And then Bischoff just says, fuck ECW. And then Austin gives him the stunner. The Dudley Boys carry his ass out of the arena. Party, and then they all party to end the show. But yeah, that was one fun ass show for start to finish. Like it felt like ECW again, just even if it was just for one night. It was nice to at least have it back.
It was. It was, especially in, let's not forget, in the Hammerstein Ballroom of all places. This is the perfect place. This is the perfect
And,
place to have it.
and it's crazy that whole thing started just by the ECW Rise and Fall DVD.
Yeah.
Too bad WCW didn't get that same luck when their DVD came out.
No.
Yeah, but fun show and probably arguably the best pay per view WWE put out all year, and it wasn't even an actual WWE pay per view.
No, it wasn't. I think outside of it, yeah. Um, you always could talk about like what was the best one from that year from '05. It's to me it was, I think it was my top three from '05 was either it's between Vengeance, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. Yeah, and then
I,
I'll put SummerSlam as if top five. It's SummerSlam. I'll put SummerSlam in it too, though. But yeah, Vengeance is definitely like one of them.
damn, bro, no love for Great American Bash.
Are you freaking kidding me? That's
I'm
one
just
show.
playing. I'm just
Oh
playing.
my
I'm playing.
god. Oh, you better be.
What are
Oof.
you gonna do if I'm not?
You really need to. You need some counseling because really need some counseling because those Great American Bat shows. They, oh my goodness, it were not
More
great.
like Great American Trash. That's what it should have been called.
I'm glad NXT brought it back. It's the name, the brand. It's cool though, but when you saw it on paper, didn't provide that excitement that I hoped for.
What was worse, '05 or '04?
Wow.
I don't know, man. I have to say, what was worse? Gotta say, 05.
Damn. '04 was bad too. '04 was horrible.
I know 04 was bad. It was bad. Both of them were bad. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I mean, when it comes to the championship match, I mean, Eddie Guerrero and JBL was way better than Batista and JBL.
And it's so funny on both shows. The only good part of them was the Eddie Guerrero match.
Yeah.
Without that, those shows would have literally had nothing.
And then I don't want to even get started with the Undertaker and the Dudley Boys match,
Yeah.
the cement crypt. Matt, dude, I, woof,
So horrible.
seriously.
With the Muhammad Hassan match of the next year, at least had some potential. But then when they did the whole terrorist angle and all that jazz, it just kind of like
Oh,
ruined everything.
dude, bad,
Yeah, bro.
so bad.
Yeah, 2005 was just a weird time. It was fun, but damn, was it weird.
Mainly for SmackDown's part. I think SmackDown lost his edge in 2005 once John Cena left and went to Raw. That's when it went downhill.
And Kurt Angle too. Losing Kurt Angle was a major loss.
Yeah, I know they got Benoit. I know they got Chris Benoit though, but it still just wasn't the same, honestly.
Nah, and Benoit's stock had gone down by that point. He was still great, but his stock had really gone down compared to the year before.
True, true. That's true.
Yeah, the best pickup I think SmackDown had in that whole draft was probably Batista.
Orton, Batista and Randy Orton, because I think Randy Orton really elevated even more his stock up really high once he went to SmackDown because of the feud he had with Undertaker.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good feud, and then he had the triple threat at Mania the next year.
Yeah,
But Muhammad Hassan, I feel like would have been a good pick if that shit hadn't happened the way it did. But what are you gonna do?
I know. Did you hear? You hear? He's a school principal now.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. Yeah, he's a principal at a school now.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, one more anniversary to get into before we get out of here. This today, actually, I believe, was the 16-year anniversary of the death of Sensational Sherri.
Oh, yes, it was. It was. I was
49 years old.
very shocked to hear that. 49, dude, man. I was shocked to hear that.
Yeah,
Damn.
died of an overdose too.
Aye. And it was crazy. We literally, at that time, we literally just seen her because she just, what? She was recently just inducted into the Hall of Fame, correct?
The year before, yeah, 2006.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Great manager.
Yeah,
Oh,
great wrestler also. Great wrestler also. People forget that she was also wrestled for a long time too.
mm,
Not so much in WWE, although she did have the women's title for a while. But yeah, what she's mainly famous for is being a ballet,
mm, yeah.
especially in WWE, where she was the manager of Macho Man for 2 years, and including the stint when he was Macho King, Ted DiBiase, and also Shawn Michaels when he first turned heel.
Yes. And how could we forget? When it comes to the tag team, she used to manage the Harlem Heat back in WCW.
Yeah, Sister Sherri. Yeah, she was a big part of their act back then, and also she managed Ric Flair like when in '94. Also, when she first got there.
Oh, okay. I really loved her little last stint that she did. I loved how when Kurt Angle brought her out on SmackDown and had her sing Shawn Michaels' theme song.
Yeah, that was great. And then Angle put her in the ankle lock at the end.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite person of hers that she managed?
Ooh.
Or act that she managed, I should say.
You know what? She was very, she's, always been very colorful with anybody she managed with. But I really loved her with Macho Man. It felt like her and Macho just like clicked. I get that
I agree.
I understand that, yes, Macho Man is usually remembered with being with Miss Elizabeth, but for some reason when he was with Sensational Sherri during that time, it was like they, they worked well with each other.
Yeah, yeah, they had good chemistry together. It was a good fit. I would say besides Harlem Heat, that was the longest she ever managed one act.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did well with Macho Man, and I liked how they would have those matches where it would be Macho Man with Sherri in his corner with against Hogan with Elizabeth and his corner, and then like Elizabeth would like slap Sherri and like have her way with her and all this. Yeah, Sherri was always a big part of all those guys' careers, and kind of in a sense, they even mentioned it on the Dark Side of the Ring episode with Sunny. The whole valet thing, kind of like what Sherri was and Sunny was and Miss Elizabeth. It's kind of like not really something that you see in wrestling as much anymore.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a
that is
lost
true.
art.
Yeah. I mean, outside of Paul Heyman, I don't really. There's really not like. I don't think there's any other managers that I could think
I'm
of.
saying as far as like females, I'm saying as far as
Yeah,
female
yeah, female
female
too.
valor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
I
wait a
guess
minute
the only,
now. Wait.
I guess the only one would maybe be Scarlett. I guess that would be the
Yeah,
only one right now.
yeah, for carrying cross. That's it. It's the only one.
Bro, that dude, I hate to say it, that dude's stock plummeted.
Fuck. I. Oh man, I know.
I hate to say it, but like him and hit and also the Hit Row act are probably the two biggest like disappointments that Triple H has brought back since he took control.
Bro, you know how on social media how people say, "What's a celebrity who you just lobby for, like you're getting paid for it?" When it comes to the wrestlers, Kurt, Karrion Cross was like the person who I like defended as if I was getting paid for it.
I get it, I understand, but
I
I don't know
know.
what it is, but it just hasn't been clicking.
I know. Isn't he feuding with AJ Styles
Yeah,
right now? Is he?
I don't know what he's doing. I have no idea. Yeah, but just rest in peace to Sherri. It sucks that she went out the way she did, and it's so crazy. That same week was the same week they did the whole angle where like Vince faked his own death.
Oh my God! Don't please. Let's not talk about that. Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I saw something about that online the other day saying it was
Yeah,
the
I saw that.
anniversary.
That whole thing was a whole mess. Oh boy.
Yeah, June 2007 was a very dark time,
The whole year was a dark time. I think
but that was
after.
probably the peak of it.
I
I
think
think that was
the
the
peak.
peak of
It
it.
was
I think June.
that. Yeah, it was that, and then moving forward was just WWE was just not the same anymore because yeah.
Yeah, bees like that. Well, is there anything else you want to get into tonight?
That's about it. I'm looking forward to AEW Collision this upcoming Saturday. I'm looking forward to the Golden Knights Championship Parade as well on that same night. Looking forward to Money in the Bank, and we'll be bringing you the more wrestling news to come. As always, that's all I have to say.
All right, so for John Randall, this is Kirk Cadet for another edition of the Clash of the Champions. Have a good one, guys. God bless. And like I've said before, don't be an asshole in real life or social media. That shit is for the birds. So until next time, take care.